morning, everybody. We are live now. Welcome to our November 25th regular meeting. Call this meeting to order, and I've asked Dan Cameron to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dan. All right, let's move on to roll call.
Roll call, Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Pat Tarswell.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I am here.
All present.
Moving on to item number 4, correspondence and organizational business. Do we have any correspondence to report?
Yes, we do. We have a Board of Health application from Dean Jewett. We have a letter from the Squaxin Tribe requesting delay of hearing for the withdrawal of Squaxin Island properties from South Mason Fire and Rescue Territory. We have a levy certification from Herb Gerhardt for Mason County Public Hospital District Number 2, Travis Morrell for Port of Allen, Public Hospital District 1, Karen Thomas for Fire District 18, Kathleen Wyatt for Port of Hoodsport, Port of Dewato, Sharon Hankinson for Mason County Cemetery District 1, and Troy Woodward for Mason County Fire District Number 6. We also received letters from Federal Energy Regulation Commission regarding the analysis and approach package of the Cushman Number 1 Development, Cushman Project, DPP, Cushman Number 1 Development, Cushman Project and DPP Field Guidance Document, Cushman Number 1 Development, Cushman Project. We also received the Lodging Attacks Advisory Committee application from Carrie Myers. And following that, we received the Mason County Transit Authority Board application from Michaela Porter. We also received renewal notice from the Liquor and Cannabis Board, as well as Historic Preservation Commission application from a Virginia Feldman. And we received notice from Comcast regarding a removal of channels owned by Versant from Digital Economy Tier and changes to Xfinity. And we received notice of liquor and license application for the Posh Pescatarian LLC and Nimrat Jasleen INC. And that would complete our correspondence.
Are you sure?
Man, I hope so.
All right, let's move on to item 4.2. This is our annual Mason County Heritage Grant Cycle news release.
Morning, Commissioners. Luke Viscusi on behalf of the Historic Preservation Commission to read your news release. The Mason County Commissioners and the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission are pleased to announce the opening of the 2026 Heritage Grant Cycle. On behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission administers the annual Mason County Heritage Grant Program to assist projects that promote the public's access to county history. The program is funded with a portion of document recording fees collected by the Mason County Auditor. The allocation of these fees for projects that promote historical preservation or historical programs, which may include preservation of historic documents, is authorized under RCW 36.22.170. The revenues accrue to a dedicated fund and may not be used for any other purpose other than those stipulated in the statute. For the 2026 grant cycle, a total of $16,000 is available. Grants in amounts up to $4,000 may be awarded to qualified organizations for professional development, public education, small capital projects, collections management, heritage investigations, and historic preservation. This is a reimbursement grant with a 6-month project period. Both the grant guidelines and the application can be found on the Mason County website, which is masoncountywA.gov/government/advisory_boards/historic_preservation/heritage grant. Proposals can be mailed or hand-delivered to the Mason County Historic Preservation Commission at 615 West Alder Street in Shelton, Washington, 98584. Applications must be received by 12 p.m. on January 16th, 2026. For questions, please contact Luke Viscusi at 360-427-9670, extension 282, or by email at hpc at masoncountywa.gov. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luke. All right, let's move on to item, 4.3, Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board Openings News Release. Who's gonna read that one for us?
If I knew I was doing it, I would have found it quicker, I'm sorry.
That's okay, it's page 61.
Page 61 also. Parks and Trails Advisory?
Yes, please.
You got it. The Board of Mason County Commissioners is seeking applications from community members who are interested in serving on the Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board. The Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board provides recommendations to the Board of Commissioners regarding the planning, acquisition, and development of parks, trails, and related programs in Mason County. The Parks and Trails Advisory Board is a 7-member board appointed by the Mason County Commissioners. Ideally, there would be 2 positions from each commissioner district and 1 at-large position. If the vacancies cannot be filled with members from the respective districts as desired, at-large members residing anywhere in Mason County can be substituted. The intent is to provide equal geographic representation from throughout Mason County if possible. Currently, we have 3 2nd district representatives and 2 3rd district representatives. We are in need of 2 members. If you have an interest in parks, trails, or other outdoor recreational opportunities and would like to make a difference in your community, you are encouraged to apply. The Mason County Parks and Trails Advisory Board meets the 4th Thursday of each month at 4 p.m. Interested citizens may obtain an application at the Mason County Commissioner's Office, 411 North 5th Street, Shelton, or by calling Shelton 360-427-9670, extension 419, or visit the Mason County website. Applications will be accepted until positions are filled.
All right, great, thank you. Moving on to item 4.4, Mason County Solid Waste offering free Christmas tree recycling.
He's feeling better.
I know, it's good to see your face.
Morning. Morning.
I'm Kevin Gehosa, Solid Waste Manager, and I'm here to read the Christmas tree recycling that we have going on. Mason County residents can recycle their Christmas trees for free from December 26th through January 10th at the following locations. Shelton Transfer Station, 501 West Ells Hill Road. It's open daily from 8 to 4:45 p.m. The Belfair Solid Waste Drop-Off Facility at 1611 Northeast Sand Hill Road, Belfair. That is open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 to 3:15. Curbside customers with Mason County Garbage can cut up their trees and put them in their carts. All trees must be free of decorations, tinsel, and flocking. Wreaths and garland are not accepted as they contain wire and cannot be recycled.
Perfect,
All right.
thank you. You gonna read the next one too?
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Early closure for Ells Hill Transfer Station and the Belfair Drop Box, December 18th. Mason County Public Works, excuse me, announces the early closure for the Ells Hill Transfer and the Belfair Drop Box Solid Waste Stations on Thursday, December 18th. The last customer will be accepted at 12:30 p.m. at the Ells Hill Transfer Station and 11:30 a.m. at the Belfair Drop Box Station. These closures are to allow for Public Works staff Christmas luncheon and all hands on staff meeting. We kindly ask the public plan ahead. We appreciate your understanding and cooperation.
Perfect.
All right.
You get an A for the day.
All right. Thank you guys.
Do you know that she threatened
Thank
to
you,
have
Kevin.
Loretta come up and put a hat on? If you couldn't come in today?
Don't forget the beard.
And the
Yeah.
beard.
Well, she can borrow my hat. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. All right, let's move on to item number 5. This is the time we set aside for citizen input. We have 15-minute time limit, ask for 3 minutes per person, and I know we have one right away.
Must be me.
Yeah, it is. I like just looking at people making them.
Good morning, Kelly Frazier, Mason County Facilities Manager. I'm here and excited to announce that Mason County is joining our colleagues across the nation launching Operation Green Light for Veterans. Now more than ever, our veterans need support in time when our country is divided in so many issues. we can all agree that those individuals who have risked everything to protect our county in our way, life deserves support and gratitude. As part of the Operation Greenlight, Mason County is illuminating some of our county buildings green for the month of November, and we are encouraging individuals and business to join us. Roughly 250,000 members transition in and out of the armed service each year. Join us to help shine a light in support and welcome our veterans home. By shining a green light, we aim to let veterans know that they seem appreciated and support. Join us in Operation Greenlight for veterans by changing one light bulb in your house or in your entryway of your business. Let's turn Mason County green. I'd like to thank my staff for going out there, going above to make this happen. If you drove by at night, we got 4 or 5 of our buildings lit. We got the Memorial Hall lit in green. So we definitely could have done with that. I want to recognize all veterans in the room and on Zoom. So if you would, all veterans, please stand. On Zoom, you could raise your hand. Only you two.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our veteran, head of our local DAV, Dan Cameron, to read the proclamation.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning, Mason County. Operation Greenlight for Veterans 2025 proclamation. Whereas the residents of Mason County have great respect, admiration, and utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who serve in the armed forces have been vital in maintaining the freedoms and the way of life enjoyed by our citizens. And whereas Mason County seeks to honor individuals who have made countless sacrifices for freedoms by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas veterans continue to serve our community in the American Legion, VFW, DAV, religious groups, civil service, and by functioning as county veteran service officers in 29 states to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. Whereas approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually, and an estimated 20% increase of service members will transition to civilian life. And whereas studies indicate that 44 to 72% of service members experience high levels of stress during transition from military to civilian life. True statement. And whereas the active military service members transitioning from military service are at a high risk of suicide during their first year after the military service. And whereas the National Association of Counties encourage all counties, parishes, boroughs to recognize Operation Greenlight for veterans. And whereas Mason County appreciates the sacrifice of our United States military personnel and believes specific recognition should be granted. Now, therefore, be it resolved with designation as a green light for veterans of Mason County hereby declares November 2025 as a time to salute and honor the service, sacrifices of those transitioning from active service, and be it further resolved that Mason County encourages its citizens and patriotic tradition to recognize the importance of honoring all those who made immeasurable sacrifices to preserve freedom by displaying green lights in the windows of their place of business or residence for the month of November. So, that being said, I would like to just thank Mason County up in Belfair and here in Shelton. We just did a veteran stand down Friday. It was a great success. Also, thanks to the county, they supported us a lot. And we helped 26 veterans this Friday. Hopefully next year we can help more. We only had 7 homeless veterans, but we opened it this year to veterans' families. and next year it'll be the same thing. They can come in for information or anything they need. So, thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Anyone else, please come up, state your name.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Paul Winnicky, Superintendent, Southside School District, representing the parents and students and staff and school board at Southside School District. Southside School District was established in 1903. In 1903, we had a little stagecoach path that led to the school. Fast forward 120 years later, and post-COVID, our little narrow access lane has a hard time accommodating, at that time during COVID when our students and parents didn't want to ride our buses. We had over 75 parents at one time at our drop-off area. So we had an issue and a problem in staging all the cars that were coming into our school, so I reached out to the county. I appreciate our problem-solving efforts with the county and specifically Loretta Swanson. All the other schools in the year 2025 in the county and in the city have curbs and gutters and access walkways. We still have a small country road accessing our school. We worked with the county to try to widen that road area, worked with our neighbors and parents are pro widening the road. But that hasn't been accomplished yet, although we've worked really closely, including visits with our school board, to try to accomplish that. I want to thank the county for this year coming in and painting the lines and creating a crosswalk area across from the school that has a new gravel pathway area that allows students to walk along that pathway area. Unfortunately, we still have the issue of staging our cars coming into the school and cars in the neighborhood trying to pass that area and get into our parking area. But we have been reduced post-COVID down to about 30 parents that are coming in. So it's a matter of 7 to 11 minutes every day in which we have a dangerous area where cars are passing at the same place. This gravel area is only about 500 square feet that the county has provided for us. We're asking the county that they eventually pave that area. So at the current time, we are staging our cars with 2 wheels into that gravel area so cars can pass and get into our parking lots. And then we're holding our students behind until those cars leave so then they can walk that path home. That's the safest way we can accomplish dismissal at school. As an administrator, our most important mission is to make sure we have 0 abductions of students at our school. We can't live with that. So our procedure is that we see the eyeballs of every person that we release students to every day after school. That is critical, that integrity needs to continue. I look forward to our continuing conversations with the county over this issue.
All right. Thank you, Paul.
No questions?
All right,
Thank you.
next.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Hyatt. I come before you today a little bit frustrated with our homeless situation that we still have in Mason County. There was a large group of individuals that did Herculean efforts to clean up the area above the yacht club coming into Shelton. Now that the foliage is back off the trees again, we're seeing the same thing that's over and over and over again. Despite being 13th in the nation in population, Washington State has the 3rd highest population of homeless. That's fact. We do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results, and it's not working. I ask that the commissioners, I know that they are looking at a 5-year plan that they've hired outside consultants to advise them on. I seriously expect them to go ahead and study that a little bit harder. We also want to go ahead and take a serious look at whether we're giving a hand up or a hand out. When you give a hand up, you get people lifted up from their situations. When you give them a hand out, all you're doing is you're expecting the same thing over and over and over again. I want to focus on our homeless veterans first. I also want to focus on the people of Mason County. There has been evidence of many people coming to Mason County that are not from this area. We have limited resources in Mason County, and when you continually go ahead and have people being dumped in our town, our homeless population has grown exponentially from what we were even 2 years ago. Please review what we're doing and maybe take a look at doing something different. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Good morning, commissioners and public. My name is Michael Siptroth. I'm from Belfair, Washington, and I am a member of several organizations trying to make Mason County better. One thing that I heard over and over when I attended the Planning Commission reviewing the comprehensive plan was the need for affordable housing. Mason County has very little. One of the reasons perhaps that we have so many homeless people not housed is we just don't have enough affordable housing. This should become a priority. I know these are hard times financially, and yet we know through studies that people who are housed are more likely to be able to do other things like finding jobs, seeking further education, and being contributors rather than a drain on the resources. So we have to make affordable housing a priority. And in addition to that, I like to make sure that Mason County stays inviting to tourists who provide us a great revenue stream. We need to make sure that our parks and recreation facilities are vibrant, and I'm really glad that we're moving ahead in that direction. And as a former member of the advisory Trails and Parks, we had good results when I was on that group. But keeping Mason County green, clean, waters flowing well is also vital. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Kevin?
Good morning, Commissioners. Kevin Schutte, Mason County Economic Development Council. Happy to be with you this morning. A couple of updates from the organization that I wanted to share. As you know from our briefing a few weeks ago, we're conducting childcare work in the community to help expand access to childcare. Just want to encourage folks to go to our website, masonedc.org. We have a survey there to help better identify what parents and families need for their kids in the community. We have that survey available both in English and Spanish there, and it's also on our social media pages. So if you don't want to go to your web browser and put in masonedc.org, you can go check us out on Facebook and find the survey there. I'm also really excited to announce that through a partnership with North Mason Chamber, we're opening an office in Belfair for the EDC. So we have a mandate to serve businesses countywide, and we have always done that. However, we think that through a partnership with North Mason Chamber and being able to have a physical space in Belfair, that we'll be able to be a little bit more accessible to businesses up there. So we're kicking that off in December, and so the plan so far is to be there on Tuesdays, and of course, anytime by appointment if folks are interested in meeting with us to take advantage of the free business resources that we offer and learn a little bit more about our work. We'll be up there, and so I have to thank Carrie Myers, President and CEO of the North Mason Chamber, as well as Mendy Harlow, who's their board chair. They've been super supportive of this and just in Olympia, and so any input that you have for them, I'm sure in Olympia, and so any input that you have for them, I'm sure they're excited to receive and keep in mind as they head down to Olympia. So with that, just want to say happy Thanksgiving to the commission and all the staff here at Mason County. You're great partners, and just look forward to a good holiday season with all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Kevin.
And Commissioner, that's 15 minutes.
That's 15 minutes. All right, we do have a tight schedule today because we got a lot on our agenda and 3 hearings. So let's move on to item number 6, adoption of today's agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move for the approval of the October 27th, November 3rd, 2025 minutes, as well as the October 28th, 2025 regular minutes and the November 4th, 2025 special meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. The October 27th, November 3rd, November 10th, and November 17th, 2025 briefing minutes. The October 28th, 2025 regular meeting minutes and the November 4th, 2025 special meeting minutes. Any discussion? All right, call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to item number 8, approval of our action agenda. Commissioners will read through each action agenda. Items can be removed for separate discussion and vote. Commissioner Netherland, if you'll read 8.1 through 8.5. Commissioner Tarswell, 8.6 through 8.13, and I will read 8.14 through 8.20.
Happily, Madam Chair. Item number 8.1 reads, approval of warrants and treasurer's electronic remittance. Claims, clearing fund, warrants number 8116610 through 8117274. The amount, $3,016,735.43. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 120995 through 121400. The amount, $941,799.07. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7009264 through 7009301. The amount, $1,222,042.67. The treasurer's electronic remittance is $1,592,448.09. Item number 8.2. Approval of the Mason County Utilities and Waste to issue a water leak credit for customer number 306019 in the amount of $1,600 plus applicable late fees based on verification that the leaks have been repaired. Item number 8.3, approval of a resolution amending resolution 2023-056, changing the name of the Pacific Salish Economic Development District, EDD, to the Evergreen Coast Regional Partnership, EDD, to better reflect the region. Item number 8.4, approval of a resolution accepting the donation of a motor vehicle from Bruce Titus Automotive Group and authorize its transfer into the county services. Item number 8.5, approval for the chair to sign the subrecipient amendment with the Community Action Council of Lewis, Mason, and Thurston counties to extend the Public Service Washington State Community Development Block Grant contracts number 25-64210-010 for a period of 1 year beginning July 1st, 2025 and ending June 30th, must be 2026, in the amount of $105,000 even. Just for the record, in the minutes or in the paper, it says from July 25 to June 25. So it's backwards, so it must be 26.
Item 8.6, approval to amend resolution 2024-057 to increase Mason County Parks Field use rages by 2.8% beginning January 1st, 2026. Approval to reappoint Caleb Cowles for the new 3-year term on Mason County Historic Preservation Commission beginning December 2025 and ending November 2028. Approval of the Indigent Defense Grant Award for Public Defense Improvement Funds in the amount of $123,492.61. Item 8.9, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 at 9:15 a.m. to take public comment on the draft Mason County Local Homeless Housing Plan. Item 8.10, approval of the Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Bremerton for sanitary sewer service. Item 8.11, approval of the Criminal Justice Treatment Account, CJTA plan, and sign the 2025 through 2027 CJTA contract. Item 8.12, approval of the resolution establishing the framework for the utilization of opioid settlement funds in Mason County. 8.13, approval of the quote given by Bradley Air Company for replacement of the jail kitchen walk-in cooler and the juvenile detention's heating system.
Item 8.14, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, December 16th, 2025 at 9:15 a.m. to take public comment on the draft Mason County Comp Plan updates. Item 8.15, approval to advertise for the current vacant position of Chief Public Defender. Item 8.16, approval of the resolution adjusting defense attorney contract rates for indigent defense. Item 8.17, approval of the resolution deleting Fund 114, Victim Witness Activity, and establish Department Number 181, Victim Witness Activity within the General Fund for the 2026 budget. Item 8.18, request to set a public hearing for December 16, 2025 at 9:15 a.m. to consider and approve supplemental budget requests and budget transfers to the 2025 budget. Item 8.19, approval of Adopt-A-Road application submitted by the Hood Canal Lions Club for the section of McCready Road milepost 1 through 6. I knew I couldn't make it all the way through. Item 8.20, approval of Adopt-A-Road applications submitted by Clifford Denson for the section of East Agate Road from State Route 3 to Crestview Drive. Thank you for not putting in mileposts on that one. All right, Commissioners, having read through the action agenda, are there any items you would like to have removed?
8.21.
Well, hold on just one moment, and I'll read item 8.21. Approval of the resolution setting a hearing with the hearing examiner for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026 at 1 p.m. via Zoom to consider public comment on road vacation number 426. Okay, now, having read through all of the action agenda, are there any items anyone would like to have removed for separate discussion and vote?
Item 8.10 for further discussion about the changes that occurred yesterday.
Okay.
And comment when the time comes on a different one.
Anything?
No.
No?
No.
Anyone in the audience have anything, any item, and they would like removed? Quit giggling at me. For separate discussion and vote.
Well, I signed up for remarks. Is this the time not to talk, or do we wait till you sign up for remarks?
Are you remarking on
I have some stuff I'd like to say, yeah.
is it an item that we have on the action
No.
agenda?
No.
Okay, let us go through this action agenda and then,
I just don't want to be left out, that's all.
okay, no problem. All right. Anyone in the Zoom room like anything removed for separate discussion or vote? All right, hearing none.
Madam Chair, I wouldn't mind if we went short on we went 15 minutes on the public testimony, if you wanted to open it up before we do any of this discussion and stuff.
You okay with that?
It wouldn't bother me.
Couldn't quite hear you.
Go ahead and have another comment.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sir, we're gonna go ahead and have you come on up.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
I will. Yeah, my name is Richard Anderson. I'm the developer of Lakeland Village and also for over 55 years and also an Allenite for 70 years. And I'm here today for two reasons. First of all, to discuss and thank the staff. They're working right now on the Division 15 for Lakeland Village, the 82 unit project. And I'd like to thank Kel Rowan and Loretta Swanson and Luke Viscasi. They've been doing a wonderful job. We've got the plat completely finished and we're moving now to final plat approval. We're getting the faces of the plat signed this week, hopefully, with all the people working hard to do it. And I just wanted to talk about my feelings about Lakeland Village and Allen and Mason County. I sit around, I hear a lot of things about Belfair. Belfair, Belfair, Belfair. There's also Allen. And you know, Lakeland Village has over 950 residents up there. We have more people living in the Allen UGA by far than the Belfair UGA. We have the Allen Community Association, a very vibrant association with over 240 members. We have the Lakeland Village Homeowners Association with over 950 members. And we don't feel like we get enough representation from the commissioners, to be quite honest with you. When I asked you today, sir, I know that you didn't, whatever, but do you like Lakeland? I know I'm passionate. I love Lakeland. I love Allen. Okay, I want the commissioners to love Allen. I want you to feel like Allen like I do. There's people there that need commissioners' help. Okay, Lakeland Village, I feel like, it's just forgotten about. There's things up there that the county could help us with. We need improvements on our roadsides. I've talked to you before. Last time you were running for election, we talked about increasing the roadways. What's happened when they put in the sewers, they destroyed the shoulders of all of our roads. Our people like to walk. We're walking around like a bunch of billy goats because we don't have any sides on our roads. When you ask me to build a road for you and you accept the road, I have all these specifications I have to have, all this stuff. But when you come in and you destroy what I build and you don't return it back the way it was, we have nothing, okay? So I just want to tell you that I think that we're at a turning point here where you and us could become a team together and improve the people of Allen's lives. And I know we're just talking about feelings here, but sometimes feelings matter, and I know how people feel. And for example, I read in the paper about some mess you got going with the sewers in Belfair. We don't have any mess in Allen. We have the ability, we're zoned in RUGA for another 500 homes. With the help of the county, we can build that. We talk about maybe they're not as affordable, but I'll tell you, put more homes in the market, you have more people living in Mason County, there's going to be more homes for everybody. And I just want to hope that the commissioners will help me and the people of Allen be happy and quit focusing everything on Belfair, because there's a larger community in Allen of people that care. And if you look at the pride of ownership and what we're doing in Allen, I mean, there's organization, there's caring people that care about things. And it's not just a bunch of shopping and craziness going on. I don't know. I mean, I know you guys love Belfair, but I'm asking you passionately, please put a little bit of effort into Allen and care about the way we feel a little bit, because we're only 3 miles down the street. And you talk about the history, you talk about history. Allen was formed back in 1800s, 1890. I have a map showing just things that went on in the town of Allen before Belfair was anything. And the other thing, I put Belfair down, but I'm a Roselle also. My grandma Roselle, great-grandma Roselle started Allen. And so even Roselle's live in Allen, okay? So there's plenty of Belfair in Allen also. So just remember that for me, please.
That's your 3 minutes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's go back to our action agenda. You have a motion or?
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the action agenda with the removal of 8.10 as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the action agenda with the exclusion of item 8.10 for separate discussion. Any comments or discussion?
Comment on item number 8.4. We are taking into our accounts a vehicle from Bruce Titus Automotive Group. I wish we had a picture of it. They did something for the DARE program, and it is absolutely spectacular. And we need to just take a moment and say thank you to them, because they went way above and beyond with a really awesome Mustang and fully wrapped and everything. They got it wrapped from somebody else, but what an incredible gift to the community, and just wanted to say thank you.
It is a cool car. For kids, that's an important thing, so.
I have a picture.
Isn't it cool?
Wish
Yeah.
we could share it though.
I know. We'll have to have them posted on the website or something. Yeah. All right. Without further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, let's move on to item 8.10, approval of memorandum of understanding with City of Bremerton for sanitary sewer service. Wow. And it begins. All right. Loretta, would you like to come up and do some explaining?
Alrighty. Morning. Loretta Swanson, Mason County Public Works, Utilities and Waste Management. Commissioners, we've briefed and discussed a memorandum of understanding between the City of Bremerton for some time, and this memorandum lays out steps to move forward and evaluate the potential for providing sewer service to a small portion of the Puget Sound Industrial Center area. And what you have before you is a draft memorandum of understanding. Yesterday, we talked about some revisions, so if it's okay with commissioners, I'll just quickly highlight what those revisions are. Under I, there is a paragraph that says both parties agree to conduct a preliminary engineering and financial evaluation that quantifies capital, financial, and operational impacts for both parties. So this is our financial analysis. The addition was suggested to include to be paid for by the Commerce Grant. We've had conversation, the City of Bremerton has contacted us. They continue to have concern about using the Commerce Grant for this purpose. So I want to share that with you, commissioners. Then under the agreement itself, there is a new paragraph, or item 3. It says both parties shall strive to complete item I above, which is the one I just described, within 180 days of executing this MOU. So this is putting some time frames on it, and commissioners appeared to be agreeable to that length of time. And then a new item 4, within 90 days of completion of I above, Mason County determines whether it is in the best interest to provide sewer service to the city and will provide written communication to the city. So after all of the study work is done, commissioners have up to 90 days to deliberate and say, yes, we think this is a good idea, or no, we don't, and then provide a written comment back to the city. And those are the revisions that we discussed, commissioners.
All right, any questions for staff? No? All right. Thank you, Loretta.
You're welcome.
All right, commissioners, discussion, comments?
Public?
Oh, yes. Do you have any public that would like to comment first? Yes. State your name again. And
Yeah, Rick Anderson, Lakeland Village, Island, Washington. You were gonna take, when I put in sewer, I have to buy my own sewer. I had to pay $460,000 for a pump station that everybody in Lakeland uses, but I only did, whatever. Are you gonna service out of our county with and who are you gonna service? Is it gonna be the Rush development up the street? Is that what it is? Is it a land development that you're gonna develop? If so, are you giving away sewer to all land developers? 'Cause I'm in. If that's the case, I have 500 units I need serviced. So if you're gonna start servicing people out of our county, then you better start servicing all of my property. That's only fair. So what's grant? What magic grant are they getting? I don't get no grant. There's a commerce grant. Give me a commerce grant and I'll put in all the free sewers, okay? Thank you.
all right, thank you. Do we have anyone else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Randy Lewis. Just wanted to follow up on comments I had made a few weeks ago on this. I'm glad to hear that there's especially a financial study, and I'm not sure what's in the memorandum of understanding, but as a citizen of Mason County, I would oppose anything in there that commits us to anything other than the study of the financial impact on the taxpayers. I think if we move forward and unless the study convincingly demonstrates that this makes financial sense for the citizens of Mason County, a lot of us would be very disappointed if it moves forward without that kind of assurance. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Have anyone else? Yes.
Michael Subtroff from the fabulous little community of Belfair. Charles on Lake in particular, which is actually closer to Allen than Belfair. So, I want to make sure that the Mason County Sewer Facility in Belfair can serve the community of Belfair as it expands with high quality and integrity. So the original plan, as I understand, was to have all the North Shore and South Shore residences connected to the sewer system, but for a lack of money, they're still largely on septic, which when leaked goes into Hood Canal, and Hood Canal has lots of problems with flow and too much material that causes algae blooms. And that's a big problem for the health of the salmon. I'm a board member of the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group. We've been trying to help the salmon in that area for decades. Algae blooms are not good for that. So I want to make sure that if we're going to devote a lot of money and resources, that it go to help the preciousness of the Hood Canal. And I think we want to be sure that we are putting our dollars where they will have a beneficial impact on our environment. Thank you. And I'm not authorized to speak for the Hood Canal Salmon Enhancement Group, so I speak as a private citizen.
All right. Do we have anyone else? Do we have anyone in the Zoom room? And I see that Ned.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
It was a struggle for me to connect, so I'm glad I was able to here at the last minute. I'm Ned Lever, I'm the city engineer for the city of Bremerton, and I've been working with Loretta on this agreement back and forth for a couple of weeks, and I just wanted to explain why the grant isn't really appropriate for us to pay for the evaluation. We need an ILA before we execute the grant, and before we can do an ILA, we need an evaluation, and we need a commitment from Mason County that you want to serve Bremerton. And so that's a couple steps down the line before we even execute the grant, to have it available. And it's not intended for an evaluation of the systems. It's intended for the design work that will actually design the improvements that will allow both of us to, have the appropriate capacity. So I just wanted to share that, and then I'm happy to answer a question if you've got one for me.
All right, thank you, Ned.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Any more questions?
Could
from
I comment? This is Ken Van Busker.
Hey, Ken, go for it.
Good morning, commissioners. I know I've told you before, but I just wanted to remind you that one of the original alternatives in the original welfare sewer EIS was to connect to the SKIA area, and for lack of a memorandum of agreement, they decided not to pursue that alternative. So I think it's about time to get off the dime and do something. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ken. Do we have anyone else? All right, commissioners? Anyone want to go first?
Ready for a motion?
Ready for a motion?
Okay, I move that we approve item 8.10, approval of memorandum of understanding with the city of Bremerton for sanitary sewer service.
Second? Oh, I'll second.
I thought you were seconding. I'll second it.
Okay.
And I'll explain why.
All right, discussion.
Okay. So, everybody knows, it's no secret, I'm not a fan of this project. I think it's dangerous. I think it's a bad situation for my communities, for my county. I'm not in favor of it. But sometimes in life, we do things when we work with others, and others will work with you, and you have to come to an understanding in government in order to move things forward. So I'm gonna name off some of the reasons why I'm not supportive of the project, but I am gonna be voting to enter into a memorandum of understanding to look at working with them under the agreement, though, that they pay for the feasibility study so we can find out whether it is feasible. And again, let me explain to you why. First of all, I'm going to tell you, I need to thank Commissioner Trask, because this originally was going to be a huge battle because they were going to put it on that next agenda. Commissioner Trask decided to give me a little deference and brought it back in several weeks. And then with that, she allowed me to get some of the things in this that I think would protect the county. By putting it in to protect the county, I'm obligated to say thank you and to work along with that. So thank you for that. Because this does protect the county and does not leave us just hanging as I think it did. The original agreement or memorandum of understanding would have had us paying for the feasibility. And I had a hard time stomaching that. But the way it's worded right now, as you heard, it would come from the grant or from them and not us to determine their future. But some of the reasons why I'm not a fan of the project itself, although I will be voting for this memorandum of understanding. Our license capacity in Belfair for the Belfair sewer system is only 125,000 gallons. That's what we're actually licensed to do. That's all we're licensed to do. In order to do anything different than that, we have to expand our spray field, but more than that, we have to get an agreement with the ecology and all to allow us to expand on our licensing. We don't have that. We haven't done any of that yet. I always think that you should have that stuff taken care of before you start looking at any of the different options. So with that, currently, we're using about 82,000 gallons. And at 106,000 gallons, we trigger a forced relook at our system, how we're going to do things, and perhaps even to start to reserve capacities and stuff. So we're close to a trigger amount when you start looking at the new systems that are ready to go on. Currently, we have a housing development that is already expecting to have what I believe is 98 different units. There's a few others that are expected to hook onto it right now that are already going through pre-application. So with that, we're going to be at our maximum within the next year or two for the 105,000 gallons for the trigger, I should say. Now with that, I want to clarify a few things. In the paper, you heard some misinformation that it was a 1 million gallon facility. It is not a 1 million gallon facility. As you will see in the memorandum of understanding, it is currently only able, if we expand, only able to handle 375,000 gallons. So there's a misunderstanding or something that needs to be clarified that doesn't exist. To sell something that you don't have is not very bright. So with that being said, the absolute maximum right now, according to our own paperwork and from our own staff, is 375,000 gallons. Now with that, our Belfair Comprehensive Plan shows that we can expect a population with a 20-year plan at 3,349 people with new dwelling units of 1,340. That's according to Kel Rowan, our staff, and what's going into our comprehensive plan. So with that, if you add that up, the new residential demand would be an additional 207,000 gallons per day. Now, commercial already is expected at a minimum of 60,000, because understand this, one unit doesn't mean one ERU. It does for residents. But one business could be 30 ERUs. So we're not even taking any of that into account. So with that being said, that puts us, if you take the 267,000 gallons and then add the 82, you're up to 349,000 gallons. That's our trigger point. That's for Belfair alone and what Belfair is supposed to keep for themselves. It's not like we have a bunch. Is it possible to do some type of huge expansion? Well, anything's possible. You can build a whole brand new plant right next to it. But is that wise? It wasn't wise when we did it the first time. It wouldn't be wise to do it the second time. So with that said, we would need to, right now with our 125,000 gallon max, we need more than double that capacity in order to handle our own demand. But on top of that, even if we were to charge 50% more for the areas out into Kitsap County, if we were to charge 50% more, we'd still be having to subsidize Bremerton, because it costs us more to do all that with our debt and everything else. Why would we want to pay $10, $20 per ERU to do Bremerton? The question again, can we make money off it? No. Two reasons why you can't make money off it. First of all, the more you put on, you're going to have to pay money to operate it. You have to pay money to treat it. So there's no free lunch, number one. But number two, it's an enterprise fund. What does that mean? To the public, that doesn't mean nothing, I understand, but to us, that means that anything that is in that fund stays in that fund. I cannot take money from the sewer to operate something in Shelton, or to operate something in Hoodsport, or to go to our law enforcement. It stays within the enterprise fund. So with that, let's say we get lucky, we make a nickel here and there on a gallon. There's no profit in it for Mason County. Matter of fact, there's just risk. And that's why I wanted a feasibility, is to so. Now, if the feasibility shows that I'm completely wrong, well, then I might just have to change my mind. But I don't think it's gonna show it's completely wrong, because how can it? Some things are absolute. When you're going up on top of the hill in Belfair, as soon as you get to the top of the hill up there, Belfair doesn't have any sewer system there, okay? Our sewer system went this way and handled some private property up to the side. It's gonna come back on Highway 3, but in Kitsap County. So now on that whole top of the hill, we have nothing to offer, so our own competition will be Bremerton. Bremerton's at the top of that hill. One business there, no matter which business you want to talk about, ends up taking business from Belfair. There's no other way you can do it. I could use the example of a big Home Depot or whatever, and then losing Mitchell or McClendon. But let's just say it's a hair salon. A hair salon there affects a hair salon in Belfair. And here's the difference. We lose the sales tax. We lose the property tax. It stays in Bremerton. They get to keep it. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to create our own competition on top of the hill using the facility that our people paid for? I have one business that I was looking at 2013 when they put the little restaurant and the car wash right there. They had to pay a $150,000 hookup fee. They took on the burden in that community to build this. Why would we spend all their money to compete against them? So with that, the project I'm not in favor of. But because my commissioners were kind enough to hear me out, kind enough to listen to me, and to work with me to put a protection in here, I'm gonna say thank you for that instead, because they didn't have to. They could have just went and voted right over the top of me, but instead, they put us in a position where I think it helps to protect our county with the verbiage that's in there, so I will actually be voting in favor of it, but at least now you'll know why I'm voting in favor of it, even though I still disagree with the project.
Well, I could go into lots of detail here. There are parts of the sewer system that can handle 1 million gallons a day. The sewer system has a number of components, and that would get into great technical detail. There are various parts that can handle 1 million gallons a day, but Randy's correct. The spray field right now is the limiting factor of 125,000 gallons. That's what it's permitted for. All of that aside, really has nothing to do with my reason why I think this is a good thing. I agree with what Randy's saying. We're going to see growth. Absolutely, it's going to be there. Now, we can pay for all of that through Mason County taxpayers and ratepayers alone, or we can work with a partner who's willing to pay an additional amount. Their number, they suggested, was they charge 50% more for out-of-service areas. I don't know what the number would be. That's something we would have to get to reach an agreement. But personally, I would rather share the cost with somebody who's going to pay more, because the system needs to be expanded. I absolutely agree with that. It needs repair and it needs expansion. So would the taxpayers of Mason County want to pick up that bill alone, or would they like to share it with somebody else? That's the question that I'm faced with. And I put it, I mean, that's a pretty simple equation for me. I think we've got somebody who's a partner. The next portion of this is, I've attended a lot of meetings with the Navy and what's happening at the Naval Shipyard in Bremerton. They're planning on spending $10 to $15 billion in expanding that and to make it capable of handling the current version of the aircraft carriers that the Navy is producing, which they currently cannot. And when they do that, they'll be the only naval base, or the only shipyard on the Pacific that can handle those things. Now, if we're going to have a Navy that has aircraft carriers in the Pacific, which I think we would all agree is something that's vitally important, that expansion is going to happen. So, with that expansion coming, is going to be a lot of growth. There's a lot of money being dumped in. PSIC, which is the Puget Sound Industrial Complex, or as Ken talked about, it's South Kitsap Industrial Center, I think is the other term. That's what we are talking about servicing, is Puget Sound Industrial Complex. This is, its primary function at the moment is going to be servicing the Naval Shipyard. Well, $10 billion is a lot of infrastructure, a lot of money being dumped into this area. It's going to mean homes, it's going, potentially 60,000 people will be brought in for that shipyard. A lot of those people are going to end up in Mason County. We will need to expand the sewer system. Do we want to pay for it all by ourselves? Or do we want to have a partner who's going to share the expense? That's the reason I support it.
Thank you. So, you guys are gonna hate me, but I would like to offer one small edit. And that is to add
Madam Chair, we
onto,
already have a motion
I know,
and a second.
I realize that. But let me tell you what my, what 4 little words are. And then we can either move on with the motion or change it or pull it back. On I, at the end of the work to be paid for with the Commerce Grant or current utility funds. The reason I'm suggesting this is that I know that this study, our sewer study, is almost finished. And we can also work within our utility department, and they can do that small piece that's almost done. Yay? Nay?
We have a motion on the floor, we can fail it and put it down, but it's already been moved and seconded, but if we're gonna do that, then we've got a lot longer discussion to have. And I will not be voting in favor of that, that's for sure.
All right, well, I will call for the vote then.
Well, I still would like to comment again on some of the other.
No, because
Yes.
we are very close
Madam
to
Chair,
our meta.
You don't
I
have the-
understand
You don't have the
this.
authority to stop me.
I
from
understand, but
speaking.
let me finish.
You don't have
Please,
the authority to
let
stop
me finish. Please. We have a 10 o'clock meeting with the Squaxin tribe, and we still have 3 hearings. Can you please keep your comments short?
Yes.
Okay.
Short. So, I appreciate what the commissioner had mentioned over on the side, but the couple of things to point out when it comes to the expansion of the Navy. If they expand the Navy, that has no effect on this. We already have the sewer system. Okay, we are the winners of that situation. When it comes to competition, we have the sewer system, they don't, we win. That 10 million is not gonna stop because we don't extend the sewer system into Kitsap County. That has nothing to do with it, the 10 billion. It has nothing to do with it. They have 5 different Navy yards. They're gonna put their stuff all over the place. There's nothing that says there, but even still, we still end up being the beneficiary of non-competition or little competition, number one. Number two, and something that's very, very, very important, although it feels good to talk about what somebody might do, we have never got one proposal asked for them offering to pay anything. Nothing. Nothing. Not one dime. Not $1, not to be a partner on paying. There's no offer to it. And the comment that we've talked about the 50% was what they charge their people. They never even offered to pay 50% more. The original thing that they sent to us was the opposite of that. Their original ILA said that they wanted to pay the same amount as what we pay, but not even per ERU. They wanted to have do it by the gallon. So we would lose even more that way. So with that being said, there's a big difference between it for support.
Well, do you want another word? All right, I'm gonna call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Oh, I was an aye. All right, let's get that MOU to Bremerton. All right, let's move on to item number 9. Do we have any department heads or elected officials that would like to address the commission? Yes, can you please keep it short?
Steve Dunkel, Mason County Auditor. Hi, Madam Chair. Morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to let everybody know, let you know that we're on track to certify the November 4th, 2025 general election today at 2 p.m. And in that election, we had a total of 13,800 ballots returned from 47,829 registered voters. That translates to a 38.26% return. So everyone is welcome to attend certification today. Hope to see you there. Happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Do we have any other department heads or elected officials? Anyone in the Zoom room? All right, thank you. Let's move on to our public hearings. Our first public hearing is a public hearing to consider establishing a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on Yates Road and Ellis Road. And I'll ask Loretta to come up and brief. Thank you.
Good morning. I will make it very quick.
Thank you.
And if you need more details, let me know. Mason County this summer converted 2 roads from primitive roads to paved or chip sealed roads.
Hey Jen, can you shut that door, please?
Okay. And as a result, we now need to change the signage and establish a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on both of those roads. And so you have before you 2 ordinances to do that, and we are requesting that you execute those ordinances.
All right, any questions for staff? Nope. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to open this up for public comment or testimony. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to testify or comment? No, hearing and seeing none. Let's move on to commissioner discussion or, I did. I thought I did. All right, let's move on to commissioner discussion or a possible motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we establish a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on Yates Road, County Road number 36600, and establish 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on Ellis Road, County Road number 15960, as presented by staff.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to establish a 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on Yates Road, County Road number 36600, and Ellis Road, County Road number 15960. Did I get a message from Tim? Are we good?
We are good.
Okay. All right. I will call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Loretta. Moving on to item number 10.2, this is our public hearing to take comment on the certification to the county assessor, the amounts of taxes for county purposes and the amount of taxes levied for each taxing district for 2026, and ask Jen to come forward to brief.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Byerly, Mason County Support Services. And as you stated, this public hearing is to certify to the county assessor for the amount of taxes levied for county purposes and the amount of taxes levied for current expense and road for 2026, an increase to the current expense and road property tax levies for 2026 is not included in the proposed or requested actions. Pursuant to RCW 84.52.070, it is the duty of the county commissioners on or before the 15th day of December in each year to certify to the county assessor the amount of taxes levied upon the property in the county for county purposes, and on or before the first Monday in December, the respective amounts of taxes levied for the board for each taxing district for district purposes. For property taxes due in 2026, the rate of inflation is 2.44%, and therefore the limit factor for taxing districts with populations of 10,000 or greater is 101% without an additional resolution of substantial need. So if it was below 1%, we would have to have another resolution, and we don't need that. So the requested actions, there are 4 of them. And before I get to that, I just want to state that this information for these resolutions that I'm asking you to approve came directly from the assessor's office. And once I created the resolutions, the information went back to the assessor's office for approval and also to Tim Whitehead. So just for your information. So the requested actions, number 1, is move to increase the 2026 current expense property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,230,126.50. Requested action number 2 is move to increase the 2026 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,982,340.51. This includes a diversion of the road levy of $2,160,000. The third requested action is move to certify refund levies and the following levies and amounts for collection in 2026 to recover net refunds / cancellations, and permission for the chair to sign the form from the treasurer authorizing the collection of the refund levies. The county's general fund, $433.26, and road district number 1, $3,281.23. And requested action number 4 is move to adopt the 2026 current expense and road property tax levy resolutions and continue the hearing to the December 9th, 2025 commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt the resolution certifying to the county assessor the property tax levies for collection in 2026. And some explanation. On that is that the taxing districts have until December 1st of this year to turn in their requested levies. So we don't have all of the information, or the assessor's office might not have all of the information that they need at this time, November 25th. So that's why we're requesting to move this this public hearing to December 9th, or continue this public hearing to December 9th. But at this time, I'm requesting those 4 actions to be approved. So any questions?
Questions? All right, do we have anyone in the audience with any questions for staff? Anyone in the Zoom room have questions for staff? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. All right, commissioners, let's open it up for public testimony. Anybody want to comment or testify? Seeing no one in the room, anyone in the Zoom room want to comment or testify? All right, seeing none, commissioners? Any discussion or possible action?
Do we need to do a motion for each?
For each one, yes.
All right. I move to increase the 2026 current expense property tax levy by 0% bank excess capacity and set the levy at $11,230,126.50.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to increase the 2026 current expense property tax levy by 0% bank excess capacity and set the levy at $11,230,126.50. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam Chair, I move to increase the 2026 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,982,340.51. This includes the diversion of the road levy of $2,160,000.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to increase the 2026 road property tax levy by 0%, bank excess capacity, and set the levy at $11,282,340.51. This includes the diversion of the road levy of $2,160,000. Any discussion?
Nope.
Call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam Chair, I move to certify refund levies in the following levies and amounts for collection in 2026 to recover net refunds, cancellations, and permissions for the chair to sign the form from the treasurer authorizing the collection of the refund levies. County's general fund, $433.26. Excuse me. Current expense, road diversion, $0. Road district number 1, $3,281.23. Mental health, $0. Veterans Assistant Fund, $0.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second to certify refund levies in the following levies and amounts for collection in 2026 to recover net refunds, cancellations, and permission for the chair to sign the form from the treasurer authorizing the collection of the refund levies. County's general fund, $433.26. Current expense, road diversion, $0. Road district number 1, $3,281.23. Mental health, $0. Veterans Assistance Fund, $0. Any discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam Chair, I move to adopt the 2026 current expense and road property tax levy resolutions and continue the hearing to December 9th, 2025, commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt a resolution certifying the county assessor the property tax levies for the collections in 2026.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second to adopt the 2026 current expense and road property levy tax resolutions and continue the hearing to the December 9, 2025 commission meeting at 9:15 a.m. to adopt the resolution certifying the county assessor the property tax levies for collection in 2026. Any discussion? All right, a call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And motion passes. Phew, that was fun. All right, let's move on to item number 10.3. This is a public hearing to take comment on the proposed roll of rates and charges for Lake Management District number 1 for the Island Lake. And Travis, it looks like that's you.
All right. Travis Adams, Mason County Commissioner. The Mason County Lake Management District number 1 for Island Lake was established on September 16, 2025 by adoption of ordinance number 2025-056. The notice and hearing requirements for establishing the roll of rates and charges for the Lake Management District pursuant to RCW 3661-120 and RCW 3661-140 have been satisfied. Today is a public hearing to hear objections to the roll of rates and charges which were published in the public notice for this meeting. The estimated amount that will be raised by the LMD rates in 2026 is $50,000. The total estimated LMD rate revenue for the 15-year LMD is $343,980. The formula of rates and charges that is to be used to establish the 2026 assessment for the LMD is 62 cents per thousand valuation. It is anticipated that revenue bonds or notes payable from such rates and charges will be issued to finance the activities of the LMD.
All right, any questions for staff? Any questions in the Zoom room for staff? Thanks, Travis. You may be seated.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, let's move on to public testimony or comment. Come forward and state your name.
Thank you. Hi, everybody, I'm Randy Lewis. I am the current chair of the Island Lake Management District Advisory Committee. First of all, I want to talk about the 62 cents. That was an estimate based on the valuation at the time. What the per thousand charge will be will depend on what the official valuation is at the end of the year. Although the dollar amount's fixed at $50,000, the per thousand depends on your house value and all that. Anyway, of course, we're in support of the rates, as was over 90% of the lake. So as they did in their vote, wanted to mention Mark Toussaint's here, who's also on our committee, and Mark hosts our meetings at the Tucson Villa. So we really appreciate that. And Julie makes killer chocolate chip cookies. Anyway, I wanted to mention, this will be a good opportunity to maybe update people on our activities. Barry Halverson, who's the Thurston County Chair for the Thurston County Lake Management District Association, attended our last meeting, gave us a lot of really great information. One thing we talked about was there's a process that we want to go through, which is called IVAMP is the acronym, which I don't remember what it is, but basically it's a very comprehensive and thorough evaluation of a lake, which is what we want to do. And also, there's a chance, you mentioned there are grants available for that, which we're going to, the deadline's kind of tight this year. We have like 2 weeks to submit it, but we're gonna try. If that fails, we'll try next year. But that will help fund an IVAMP, which is expensive. But as we mentioned when we were promoting the Lake Management District charges, we believe it'll be worth it. Talking to Barry, some lakes spend upwards of $50,000 to $100,000 just for that IVAMP. I don't think, we're a smaller lake, I don't think we'll need that much, but the grant will be helpful, as well next year's assessment. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Do we have anyone else? No one else in the room? Anyone in the Zoom room like to comment? No. All right. Not hearing any. All right, commissioners.
So I don't have a roll-up of the action, but I can read it by building it into the other one. Would you like me to do that, or do you already have one rolled up?
I do not have one rolled up.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the rates, to set the rates for the Lake Management District rates at, for 2026 at $50,000. The total estimated LMD rate revenue for the 15-year LMD is $343,980. The formula for rates and charges that is to be established in 2026 assessment for the LMD is 62 cents per thousand valuation. It is anticipated that revenue bonds and or notes payable for such rates and charges will be issued to finance the activities of the LMD.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. I'm going to ask you to read that one more time so that Chris can make sure that it
And we
is
can read it into the
properly.
record. Yep. All right, I've moved that we set the rate for the LMD. The estimated amount be raised by LMD rates in 2026 is $50,000. Total estimated LMD rate revenue for the 15 years LMD is $343,980. The formula of rates and charges that is to be used to establish the 2026 assessment for the LMD is 62 cents per thousand valuation. It is anticipated that the revenue bonds or notes payable for such rates and charges will be issued to finance the activity of the LMD. And I will make sure he gets this.
Thank you.
Afterwards.
All right, that should suffice. All right, any further discussion? No? All right, I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to item number 11, boards, calendars, and reports. We'll go through those quickly. Commissioner Netherland, Commissioner
you pick me
Tarswell,
last
and then I
on
will.
that one,
Oh,
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Tarswell, Commissioner Netherland, and then I will follow.
Last week, Commissioner Trask and I attended the WASAC conference in Spokane. It was a lot of good information, but no county business was discussed at the time, and anytime we happened to run into each other in the halls or wherever. We were supposed to have a sheriff's thing. Did that get canceled finally? Okay. today. I have a Board of Health meeting here shortly.
Nope,
Well,
that's
the
government to
Squaxin
government.
meeting, sorry, my calendar still has the Board of Health. We have a government-to-government meeting with Squaxin, and we have one with the Skokomish tribe at 1. Then at 2 o'clock, I will be in the certification of the election. Tomorrow, I have a Fire District 16 meeting at 4 p.m. Then we have a Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone. That'll be Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Friday, so I'll be gone those 2 days. Next week, we come back for our regular commissioner briefing. We have a WASAC meeting at noon on Monday. I actually have nothing on Tuesday. That's a rare event. I take that back. I have a Fire District 17 meeting on Tuesday. And then we're started all over again. Alliance for Healthy South Sound on Wednesday at 2. And then it just keeps going. So that covers enough.
All right.
Okay.
Commissioner.
Madam Chair, last couple of weeks we had the Olympic Regional Clean Air Authority meetings, the Sheriff's Breakfast. Grocery Outlet opened officially in Belfair. It was a huge event. People were lined up around the blocks to walk in at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was absolutely wonderful. It was raining and they still showed up to do it. I stuck around spending most of that time wiping down carts and helping anybody that couldn't carry their stuff out because it was that packed just getting through it. And then they had a thing set up where they gave a couple of checks to the high school, and they gave another check to the food bank, and then the credit union had a booth there for collecting food as well. It was a wonderful event. Olympic Clean Air Authority Finance Committee, the hospital had their gala where they're raising money for an open MRI, which is, I have to use those things regularly, I can tell you. The difference between going into a coffin and not being able to move or anything like that compared to being able to slip outside makes your heart feel a little different when you're getting a scan done. Great job on their behalf. They raised a huge amount of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. We lost another person and attended his wake in Belfort for Ryan. Mason Transit Authority, we had the North Mason Chamber of Commerce, and then I attended a Lions meeting here in Shelton by invite. Next up, we have a Chamber of Commerce is having a luncheon. It's a gratitude luncheon to give thanks for all the people that are working with them, helping them. We have our tree lighting ceremony in Belfair. Please attend. It's always wonderful. Law Enforcement Firefighter Board. I have a special meeting with the Cemetery Board, Rotary meeting, Christmas, something that I don't know what it is, and then the Hood Canal Coordinating Council, and then our 2 government-to-government meetings with the tribes this morning, bringing us back, and we'll start over and do it again.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. All right, next, of course, you've heard it twice already. Government to government with Squaxin, government to government with Skokomish tribe. I'll be attending a birthday party tonight, so can't wait for that one. SWAC meeting on Wednesday. Again, we have our Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Next week, we have our briefing, which also includes our budget meeting as well. Ribbon cutting at Cameo. Ted and I will be celebrating our 30th anniversary on Monday the 1st. So looking forward to that. And then we're going to go to Alderbrook. But during that, I do have meetings. Public Works Board Executive Committee meeting. And then Public Works Board regular meeting on Friday. And then also we here will be having our tree lighting. So the Mason County, the entire county will be lighting trees. So it'll be very cool. All right, commissioners.
Madam Chair, move we adjourn.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.